I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about, is your ex trying to keep you close? One of the things that we see after a breakup is that exes keep putting themselves in your orbit. They want to be around you, they're looking for excuses to contact you, and it can be very confusing because you want an answer. You want to know, are we going to fix this or are we done? But a lot of times they're not sure. A lot of times they're conflicted, and sometimes they want to be with you. Sometimes they feel like it's best to move on. So they can go through a lot of different emotions. And if they're not being silent with you, then you're going to see the conflict. And the conflict is going to be very confusing to you. As you've heard me say before, people often make you feel how they feel. So they're confused, and so their confusion is coming out in their behavior, and so it confuses you. So it's totally understandable why you would see conflicting messages from your ex and why they're trying to stay close to you. Because after all, you were somebody that they loved, they were with for oftentimes for years, they had planned a future with you, and so this is confusing and scary and overwhelming for them as well. The challenge of that is that they often have the power in that dynamic right now because they are not necessarily wanting to fix things, and you are. They have the upper hand in that dynamic. And so that's part of the reason you have to play your cards close to your chest in a breakup. And that's why we're always telling you, don't be eager. Don't tell your ex too much. Don't come on too strong, because you give all that power away and they lose attraction. Unfortunately, with the dynamics of attraction, it can be fickle, and certain behaviors turn people off. Then one of the other things that happens is your ex starts reaching out to you and all of your attachment issues come out. You overwhelm them and you chase them away. Then after some time of being away from you and missing you, they come back again. So a big part of that cycle and that dynamic is your behavior. This is why you got to do the workbooks 30 minutes a day. The creative healing course, 30 minutes a day. You've got to stick to it because you have to develop an emotional muscle that you've never developed before. We're trying to teach you that. The workbooks, the course is going to help you far beyond just watching the videos, because you're having to answer challenging, difficult questions that require you to reflect and think about scenarios and put yourself in difficult situations again. So you are learning new skills to replace that behavior. You're learning to identify those issues through, questions, and able to work through it, and then are better equipped to handle the challenges, especially when you're feeling triggered. That is why the more you commit to personal growth and no contact, the better off you're going to be, the more likely you're going to be able to repair things with your ex or re-attract new people with this new true confidence that you're getting. You're not getting fake. You're learning to be truly secure and truly confident to handle those challenging moments where everything inside of you wants to vomit your feelings and your ex is trying to keep you close, and then you vomit your feelings on them, and so now they know they've got you. They disappear again. You're confused and hurt and sad. They have all the power. They reach out again. Then you vomit your feelings again, and you lose all your power and ability to turn the situation around. So I've got an email coaching that is going to be talking about an ex that's trying to keep you close, but I did have a short little message that somebody sent me, positive message, and we love to get those and share them on the channel, that just said, "Hey Craig, I was definitely stuck in a toxic depressing family system for way too long. And Margaret specialized in family systems as well. So if you look at the videos with Margaret, you're going to hear us talking about family systems a lot. And its own process to grow up and get away from that. I've been healing and getting my ducks in order ever since, but I want to let you know you helped me a lot. No, my ex never came back. She had her own serious issues that are not easily resolved. And from what I've heard, she's still in that spot years later. Well, unfortunately, there are many people that we date that have serious emotional problems. I know I've dated a couple of them, some worse than others. You've heard me talk about them before, here and there. But, some people may never change. Some people may never break that cycle. And that's why the way we approach things is to help you grow so you can break the cycle and so you can get to a great place and you can work through those family systems issues and you can get to a place where you're truly individuated and confident and secure. That is what I love to see. And so many people send such incredible emails and messages to us and comments on the channel. And that is part of the reason that I do love breakup. And the thing that I probably love the most about the breakup, even though it's incredibly painful, we can use that pain to inspire us to levels of growth that we've never had. There's a little bit more here. However, you and Margaret provided me with so much insight and vocabulary to describe what I was going through. Now I'm 10 times happier, healthier, and fulfilled than she is, and I'm taking the W. Thanks for being the few honest internet gurus on earth. Well, one of the things that I find interesting about the quote-unquote gurus out there, very few of them actually have any kind of education and just kind of say a bunch of stuff. They must have a lot of money backing them to promote them with big corporations and publishing books and stuff, because a lot of their information isn't very good. That's just being honest as a clinician speaking. So I always look for great clinicians that I know have studied in the field. And as you've seen on the channel for many, many years, we cite our sources, we cite books, we tell you the books, we tell you the articles, who gave the articles, who wrote the articles. We say it, right? Unlike the people that just take our material and act as if it's theirs. There's many out there. But we share that because we want you to see that we're getting it from reputable clinicians that have had years of training and experience and are considered experts in their field. So, thank you so much for sharing that. And if you ever want to share a success story, you can do that on my website. On the main page, there's an email there. Just send it to that email. Obviously, we can't share everything that we get, but we do love to share them when we can. So this is an email coaching that I thought was a good one for you guys. And this guy is from Europe. I'm not going to say where. Let's call him Marco, okay? He says, "Hello, coach. I hope you and Victoria are doing well. I'm writing to you because I think I'm in a complex situation and I'd like to have your insight and some advice." That's what we're here for. And the only way to do that is through the website, askcraig.net. We will never message you any DMs. We will never reach out to you in any way. We don't operate like that. You go to the website and you book a coaching through there. There are a lot of scammers out there, a lot of spam, so please be careful. Only through the website. I've had people get scammed before. I'm in my early 30s and my ex-wife is in her late 20s. She works in the service industry. All right, I'm going to leave that a little vague. Let's just say she works with alcohol in a setting where there's a lot of alcohol. Nothing too sketchy, okay? I don't want anybody to think it's too sketchy, but there's alcohol involved because I think that's important to this story here. We have been together for almost 10 years. After about 4 years, we bought a house together, and after about 4 more, we got married. Her parents have been separated since she was little. Her father was an alcoholic. After the separation, she went to live with her mother. Isn't that interesting? That dad was an alcoholic and she works in the alcohol industry. Something to that. I don't know what it might be because I don't have enough information, but it is interesting. One would think maybe she's drawn to men that are going to be alcoholics. I don't think he is, but just wondering if that's going to be part of the issue here. She suffered from depression and dropped out of school. Okay, so that's significant. Her depression was so severe, her mental health was so poor that she dropped out of school. That could be really telling. And that could tell you and give you insight into her ability to stay in a long-term relationship. She told me that her parents never paid attention to her interests and in general had never cared about her. So that's awful, and you know that would have a big impact on her ability to love and be in a romantic relationship. She's never had parents that were emotionally attuned or even made her feel loved and cared about. It's awful. During the years, I helped her out of depression. I supported her in going back to school and finding a job. I've always been her secure base. This is great to hear, and you can imagine it would be really hard to leave somebody who's been a secure base, because it sounds like he's been more of a support system to her than her own caregivers. In early 2024, I started having some depression issues. I began to neglect my hobbies and felt the need to spend more time with her. I was, in general, less attentive and proactive. So think about that. If he's depressed, he's neglecting his hobbies, trying to spend all this time with her, but not being attentive with her, not being proactive, it's just kind of like he's caught in this monotony almost. That's going to hurt the attraction. In early summer, she cheated on me with a colleague. Now remember what I said. She works in the service industry around a lot of alcohol, and based on her age, she is in her late 20s. They've been together for many years. They were essentially dating when she was a teenager. So sometimes people want to go and live out those years that they didn't get to live. I yelled at her and had a panic attack. She never said anything was wrong between us. Okay, so I think that part of the issue here is that because you started dating so young, she probably hadn't had a lot of experience with dating other people, learning to communicate, learning how to communicate with people differently, and was so reliant on you that she maybe felt like she couldn't tell you what was bothering her, and if out of fear that you might leave her. So I would guess that something like that was going on. But obviously what she did was wrong, and let's see what he wants to do now. Before she left, we went a couple of times to a therapist that said she's going through a sort of existential crisis. I think her work environment makes her feel like she's missing out. I agree with that. And I also agree a bit with the existential crisis, in the sense that because she started dating you since she was a teenager, now she's almost 30, she may be feeling like, I'm missing out, I've missed out, I want to see what else is out there. Not to any fault of him or anything he's done wrong, but a lot of people need to experience that in life before they're ready to settle down for marriage or something like that. After a couple of months where I've made all the classic mistakes, I stopped reaching out in late summer, but she messaged me every couple of days. So here's what we're talking about. The ex trying to keep you close. He made all the mistakes trying to fix this for a while, then he finally left her alone, but now she keeps reaching out to him. And if somebody does that, you have to set a boundary at some point and say, look, I can't be friends here. So, call me if you want to change your mind and see where this goes. Then eventually said she'd like to see if we could rebuild our relationship, but didn't feel ready for exclusivity right away. Okay, this is tough because they're married, they've been together for a long time, and now you're being downgraded to dating, but not exclusive. Well, it's certainly better than friend zone because there's 0% I would recommend tolerating that. Some weak coaches will tell you to do that, and you'll spend the rest of your life in the friend zone. Miserable. Trust me. But either some of those coaches just tell you what you want to hear to get your business, I don't know, or they just don't know any better and they refuse to accept that they're putting their clients in a weaker position. But if you're tolerating being friends with somebody when it's making you miserable, there's no way I'm going to recommend that, because I would be miserable if I loved somebody and wanted to date them or be with them and they said, let's just be friends. Long story short, a few months later, we saw each other almost as if we were back together, and she wasn't dating anyone else. I've always let her set the pace without ever exceeding her level of interest or putting pressure. Okay, he's doing great. He's probably been watching the channel now. He's not watching these other coaches that are saying stay friends with somebody. And he's doing good, so let's see what happens. She said she noticed I was displaying better behaviors. About a month later, she had to leave for work training in another country for about a month. We spent the night together before I took her to the airport. She kissed me goodbye, saying that she was serious about our relationship and she loved me. She left me the only copy of her house keys. So I'm guessing at this point he was feeling great about things, right? She's wanting to fix it. She's not seeing anyone else. And, you'd be feeling pretty good. But what happened? What happened when she was gone? After returning, she wanted to see me to tell me that even though there's love between us, she feels the need of independence, seeing a relationship as an obstacle. Well, look, you can sometimes play everything right and it just not go your way, because I think this is mostly about her never having been single. She was dating him as a teenager. She's almost 30. They've been married. And she feels like if she doesn't do this, she'll never do it. And it's tough. I feel for both of them, because I'm sure she doesn't want to hurt this guy. I'm sure she loves him. But at the same time, if you feel you've got to be single and live that life, you're going to constantly be thinking about leaving. Unless you really want to be in it, there's no point, because just staying with one foot in and out the door, which is kind of where she's getting to here, it just hurts both people. I returned in no contact, but she wrote me every few days during the holidays asking how I'm doing, saying that she thinks of me often. She feels sad, and it's strange not to talk to me. We met after the new year. She said she's confused about what to do with her life, and she feels like she's, quote unquote, walking a tightrope. Yeah, I'm sure she does, because she wants to be with you, and she misses you. This is the first time in her adult life she's been without you. I bet she does, because part of her wants to be with you, part of her loves you. This is the first time in her adult life she's been without you, but part of her knows that she's got to be single and alone and feel what it's like to do those things that many people need to do in their early to mid-20s, even up into their late 20s for a lot of people. Everybody's different. I answered that I understand how difficult it can be to deal with such confusion, and that I get she needs time to make up her mind. Friendship speech again. I declined the offer with the usual formula. And that's all you can really do, is decline it and say, I'm not interested. If they push you, you say, I'm not going to be interested. It's not going to work like that. You can get a little assertive if you need to, but you want to be chill about it for the most part. You don't want to be dramatic. Last week, she asked me if I'd like to meet her over the weekend to buy a gift together for my birthday, and then go to my place to get some of her stuff back. Sure, you can come get some of that stuff back and give me my birthday gift. Gotta hang out, have a great time, try and spark up the attraction, don't be dramatic. Leave her wanting more. Let her hang out with you and say what it's like to live without you. You're not going to be over dramatic and upset and make a big deal about things. That'll only chase her away, make her lose attraction anyway. I don't know what to do. Is she just not respecting my boundaries about friendship, or is she really confused and trying to keep me close somehow? Thank you so much for your time. Have a great day. Okay, so, yeah, I definitely think she's trying to keep you close. She doesn't want to lose you. But at the same time, she doesn't want to keep you either. She's stuck because she wants you in her life, but she thinks she's going to keep you as a friend. And if you follow some of those other weaker coaches out there, we won't name names, you're going to be stuck in that friend zone. Okay? She has been with you for almost 10 years, right? Something like 10 years. She knows who you are. Now, yeah, maybe the last 6 months you were depressed, you were struggling, you were caught in the rut, but for the most part, you've been great to her. She needs to see what life is like without you. You don't need exclusivity, but you're not going to settle for friendship. Now, some people might not want to fix this if they're not exclusive, and that would be understandable. Everybody's different. But I think if you're going to give yourself the best chance at turning this around, I think you say, look, I don't need to be exclusive here. We can see other people, but I can't be just friends with you and not settle for friendship. I think you're going to have to maybe set a strong boundary here and say, look, I love spending time with you and hanging out. So let me know if you want to do that, but it can't be just as friends. She may start to get all upset and go, Marka, you can't be friends with me, so this means we're not going to talk anymore, blah, 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 blah. Unfortunately, I can't stay friends with you, period. You leave it at that. And if she keeps it up, you may even have to say, look, if you don't respect my decision, I'm going to have to block you. It's not what I want, because I want to see you, but you can't just keep reaching out to me if you only want to be friends. Sometimes you have to set a strong boundary, and a strong boundary will mean that you're enforcing the consequences of what her choice is. She doesn't want to be with you? Okay, that's okay. You don't have to be with me if you don't want to. However, that means we're not going to see each other anymore. We're not going to talk anymore. Yes, we're done, unless you change your mind. And you have to set that kind of boundary with some people. Otherwise, she's just going to keep you close. Keep you just close enough where it's tormenting you and you can't really move on, but far away enough that you're still in the friend zone. So if I was you, I would also strongly consider dating other people, at least going out on some dates and having some fun, so she doesn't feel like she has all the control here. And she might start to think, oh, I'm going to lose this guy. Now, I'm not going to throw it in her face. I'm not going to make a big deal of it. I'm just going to start going out and living my life. And that's what I think you should do, and see what she does. Because you also don't want her to feel like she's grown and had all these new experiences since the separation, but you haven't. So you want to go out and have some new experiences and do some new things for yourself. So that way, if you come back together and repair this, you both have some new things to share with each other. Tough situation, obviously, a lot going on here, but hopefully you found this one helpful. Of course, if you want to get my help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. You can get my creative healing course and my workbooks only on the website. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth, and I will talk with you soon.